the Southern Ohio Farm Show. This is Gigi Neal of OSU Extension in Claremont County, Agricultural and Natural Resources Educator.
I'm James Morris, the Agricultural and Natural Resources and Community Development Educator for the Ohio State University Extension in Brown County.
And I'm Brooke Beam, the Ohio State University Extension Educator for Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Community Development in Highland County. And we will be your hosts for the Southern Ohio Farm Show.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Southern Ohio Farm Show. Today we have James talking with us about what he has seen while he's been out crop scouting. We also have two local 4-H'ers who plan on sharing their dog and horse projects. And then back with us again with another episode of how to identify specific forest plants is Dave Apsley. And then finally, we have Ken Ford of the Fayette County Extension Office, Agriculture and Natural Resources Educator, who will talk to us about the Southern Ohio Corn Growers Association event and a little bit more about pesticide recycling program that's coming up.
As wheat harvest begins to wrap up for us here in Southern Ohio, I've had a chance to get out and do some scouting across Brown County, and it seems like no matter how much scouting we do throughout the year, and no matter how much time we spend out in the field throughout the season, there's always that one surprise when we get in the cab of the combine and we're looking at it over every square inch of the field from the bird's eye view. We always find a few surprises. And this one surprise I'm going to talk about today, it's very easy for it to go unnoticed until harvest, because most of the time it doesn't occur until we have those mature wheat heads. Now, as we take a look here, as you're driving across the field or you're walking through that mature field and you notice this on your wheat heads, you can quickly become pretty concerned. However, the good news is here, and we'll talk about it in just a second, it often looks much worse than it really is. And as you take a look at the wheat on the left side of the screen, you can see that black mold that is covered over the entire head there and even down to the stem. And this is called sooty head mold, which you can see here on the right side of your screen. And even on the stem and head on the right, it looks fairly healthy, but you can notice if you can look at the screen pretty closely, even some of the glooms have some black specks on them. And that's the identification. There's two really severity levels of this. And as you look at the one on the right, it almost looks like it has a speckled rust appearance as you're looking at it in the field. So, however, the good news again here is that it's typically not much of an issue to the actual grain quality of the wheat. Because if you would actually take a look at it, most of this grain looks fine, and it is actually a superficial mold, which means that the exterior tissue surrounding the grain is infected, but the grain itself is not. Now, we can have some blemishes and maybe some dark kernels throughout the wheat field, but on most cases that we do not have much of an issue on grain quality. Now, what causes this? It's a combination of hot, humid weather and excessive and repetitive rainfall. So as we take a look here, you can see the maize on the screen, but let's look down at the bottom left of your screen. You can see for April in Brown County, according to the National Weather Service, we had observed about 4 to 5 inches of rain throughout the month of April. Our normal was about 4 inches. So really we weren't too far off in April. But as we look at the screen now, in the two pictures here in the center of the screen, our May normal was about 5 inches in Brown County. Throughout May in 2020, we observed about 6 to 8 inches across the county, as you can see there on the right side of the screen. And that puts us at about 1 to 3 inches over, leading to some of these wet issues going into June. Now, we look back down the bottom left of the screen, we observed about 3 to 5 inches of rain throughout June. Normally, we have about 3 to 4. So we're, if anything, anywhere on to normal and a little bit below. But we take a look at that last couple weeks of June. And in fact, those last 8 of the last 9 days, we had some sort of precipitation in most parts of Brown County. And even if it was less than 1/10 of an inch, we still received some precipitation. It could have been up to about 1 inch of rain within 1 day. Now, that's not a lot, but we talked about that hot, humid conditions, and that kind of describes it pretty well. We had just enough to keep us wet and humid throughout the last few weeks of June as we're preparing for harvest. So again, that's some of the things that can lead to it. And here again are some closer looks of those two wheat heads we showed earlier into the slides. And you can look here on the one on the left, that's a really heavily infected one. We may have had some issues there with that plant before. And as we start talking about management issues, the severity of this, of course, we can't do much about Mother Nature, but if we can try and mitigate the effects of Mother Nature the best we can, maybe those edges of the fields are going to be worse where they're shaded along those tree lines where they can't dry off as well. And make sure you try to avoid as much lodging as possible and make sure that you have the proper nutrient and make sure they're not nutrient deficient. Make sure that you are following a soil sample to make sure that you're getting the right crop requirements for this wheat. Anything that's going to stress it, just as with any other disease, is only going to add to the severity. Of course, increased insect pressure is going to open up any signs of weakness as well. If you'd like to look for more information on black sooty head mold, you can find that at the University of Kentucky. Donald E. Sherman has a great fact sheet, and you can find that on their website as well. And you can also visit the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. They have a wheat disease identification guide, and you can find that down there at cropwatch.unl.edu. Of course, if you have any questions and would like help identifying any problems with your plants, from insect identification to disease identification, please be sure to contact your local county extension office. You can send us pictures and contact us. We can also come out and take a look.
Hello, my name is Danielle Combs, and I'm one of the 4-H educators in Highland County. Throughout the spring and summer, 4-H members have been working on their projects, learning new things in preparation to showcase their hard work at judging and fair. The videos you're about to watch are just some of the members who take pride in their work and are showcasing their animals.
Hello, my name is Kyah Chaney, and this is Jayah Chaney. We're from the K9 Commanders 4-H Club representing Highland County. This is Jayah's dog, Piper. It's Piper's first year, and she'll need a lot of corrections, but I think that Jayah can do it. I have been in 4-H for many years, and there are different classes you can take to show your dog. To name a few, there is obedience, showmanship, and rally. And today, we'll be demonstrating obedience. First, we will be demonstrating the heel on lead. So when you start, your dog should be in heel position, and they should be sitting right next to you. Your dog's front paws should be lined up with your feet. And when you hold the lead, your right hand should hold a majority of the lead, and your left hand should be further down to be ready to correct your dog. So when the judge says forward, the exhibitor will step forward and move and call their dog's name followed by heel to let their dog know that they're moving. Forward. Piper, heel. Halt. When the judge says halt, the exhibitor should stop and their dog should sit by their side without any correction. When on lead, the judge can also call out speed changes like a slow, fast, or normal. Judges can also yell out turns, such as left turn, right turn, or about turn. Forward. Piper, heel. About turn. Slow. Normal. Halt. Exercise finished. The recall. The dog will start in sitting position again, lined up with your feet, and it should start sitting. When the judge says to leave your dog, the exhibitor will tell their dog to wait and walk to the end of their lead until they are told to call their dog. Leave your dog. Wait. Call your dog. Piper, come. Piper. Piper. The dog should sit directly in front of you when you finish. This is Piper's first year, so she will not need to know any more advanced techniques. But once you get into the higher up levels, you will be required to go further during your recalls. You will be required to do it off lead, and you will be required to finish. And that is where the dog will sit in front of you and then go around you and sit at your side. The stand for exam. Your dog will start in sitting position again, lined up with your feet. When the judge says stand your dog and leave when ready, the exhibitor will stand their dog, tell them to stay, and then go to the end of their lead. If the dog sits or moves during that time period, the exhibitor is not allowed to correct the dog in the ring, but they can when practicing and leave when ready.
Piper, stand, wait.
After the exhibitor leaves their dog, the judge will come up and feel the dog to see if they will sit. We do that by locking it down, as if we press on their hips, they will feel more inclined to sit. Return to your dog. Exercise finished.
Good girl.
Next, we'll be doing the long sit. It's very similar to the stand for exam, except the dog will be sitting the entire time and the exercise takes about a minute, but we will cut it down for video purposes. Leave your dog.
Stay.
Again, if your dog gets up during the exercise, you are not allowed to correct them in the ring. Return to your dog. Exercise finished.
Good girl.
And last but not least, we have the long down. Again, it is similar to the stand for exam and long sit, except your dog will down the entire time, and it is 3 minutes. Down your dog and leave when ready.
Piper, down, down. Wait.
Return to your dog. Exercise finished.
Good girl. Good girl. Piper.
Thank you for watching our demonstration. Another friendly reminder is that not all dogs will excel in every class, so don't get frustrated with them. Remember, they're your best friends. We're excited to show at the fair this year. Thank you for watching our video.
Hi, I'm Ryan Mao. This is my horse Junior. He is 4 years old. I've had him since December of 2019, which is when I purchased him. I would like to give a thank you, first of all, to all the people who have bought my chickens over the past couple years, because that is exactly where their money has gone, to my friend right here. We've been working pretty hard since December. Taught him a lot of new things. He's never been to a show really before, so I had to teach him how to get used to horses, and because he was scared of them from when he was a baby, because his previous owner's friends' horses ran him through a fence, so that made him scared of horses. So we've been working on that. I've taught him a simple lead change. We've been working on trail and all those obstacles and just showmanship. We've done a little bit of showmanship and yeah. And so let's go inside and I'll show you some of the things I've been teaching him. So now we're inside, and what I didn't tell you guys outside was he is a ranch horse. That is his main purpose. I've been doing a lot of trail obstacles with him, side passing, turning, stuff like that for trail and ranch riding and things like that. I have also just been riding him bareback just because, it's fun. You gotta mess around with your horse every once in a while. And he's got a couple kind of cool tricks. He's learning to be a good horse, put up with my stupidity and things like that. But he'll stop if you just do this and back up. So that's kind of cool. It's helpful. But he'll let me spin around on him just fine. He's pretty chill, except when he takes a single step when I'm standing up. That's fine. I can lay down on him, take a nice little nap. Some other things I can do, or some of the things that I've been working on that will actually probably help me, is side passing, which is going pretty well. Another thing he's been adding on is trotting him when he's bareback, trotting on him bareback. So he's been doing that and keeping his head down. That helps me with my balance too, because sometimes I struggle with that. Oops, not metal. But that's it. Okay, I'm good. I've also taught him to dismount in dumb ways that really aren't quite practical, but this is my favorite one. I've also, like I said outside, taught him a little bit of showmanship, so he's never done it before. I got him, but we'll see how this goes, because he's been doing pretty well recently. Good boy. Good boy. So as you can see, he's trotting and setting up pretty well. We've only just started teaching him to turn without putting our hand on his shoulder. So we'll see how this goes, but just remember, he's still learning. So that wasn't awful. It was actually pretty good. I'm Ryan now, and this is my good friend Junior. So come watch us at the Highland County Fair.
That was some great information on 4-H projects. We look forward for other 4-H members to showcase their projects and maybe try something new the following year. We also look forward to having new members in 4-H, so contact your local extension office to find out more.
So how do we tell the difference between this poison ivy and box elder, which looks very similar? There is a subtle color difference, but the simplest way to do that is poison ivy leaves are going to be attached to the stem in an alternate fashion, but the leaves actually alternate sides of the twig. So you have a leaf coming off the right down here at the bottom, alternating with one that comes off to the left and back and forth. That's poison ivy. It's also a climbing vine that clings to the tree. Box elder, on the other hand, will have leaves that are opposite and paired. So even the youngest seedlings at a very early age, you can see opposite leaf arrangement on box elder and alternate leaf arrangement on poison ivy.
Now we're joined with Ken Ford, who is an extension educator in Fayette County for Agriculture and Natural Resources. Ken, can you tell us about the Southern Ohio Corn Growers event that's coming up here in August?
Well, we are scheduled for August 18th, 9 o'clock. We're going to start out with Aaron Wilson. He's going to give us a climate and weather update on our Ohio weather and give us an update on where we're at and how things are stacking up at that point. We also have Sati from Central State University. He is a water quality researcher there. He does a lot of edge of field research here in this area versus the Western Basin. So like he said, all of his research goes to the Ohio River versus Lake Erie. So he has some edge of field research data that he would like to present, and he's going to talk about that in a relationship to Southwest Ohio. We also have Laura Lindsay's going to be there. She's going to talk about her boots on the ground soybean project she's been doing for the last several years and how that research is coming, and some of the results that they've seen in that research. Andy Michael is going to be here, talking about our current status of insects and diseases. Fortunately, this has been a pretty mild year for insects and diseases, which we predicted was not going to be mild due to the mild winter, but he's going to talk about some things that are going on and how to diagnose those issues and what to do about them. We have one of our own ag educators, John Barker, is going to do drones from a farmer's perspective and getting the most out of your dollars. So how drones can come into your production aspects and what you can do with those in production agriculture, particularly for grain crops and that type of thing. We've got a non-GMO representative from KG Agri Products. They actually have a plot on site with about 60 different varieties of soybeans, and they're going to talk about their research that they've done and some of the varieties that they have and how they market those soybeans into the Japan market and places beyond. So as always, Hiya Corn Growers will be there with an update from their organization and things that they have happening. We're hoping to look at some corn and soybean market outlooks. We haven't secured a speaker on that yet, but we have some things that we're working on for that. So it's a full day of events. We're hoping to continue to have this as a live activity. We will be serving lunch. We've changed the way we've done some of those things so that we can comply with the COVID-19 regulations and guidelines. So,
Absolutely. And Ken, can you tell us where this will be held?
Yep, this is held at the Fayette County Research and Demonstration Farm. It is located at the Fayette County Airport. So that is at 2770 Old State Route 38, and that's just northeast of Washington Courthouse.
Very good. And we'll have you back on just before the event to give everybody updates and make sure things that are still planned to be going the same way.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
We will be having CCA credits for those that need those. So hopefully we can, we'll have those available for our certified crop advisors that need those credits. So we'll have those available. We're looking at doing a Facebook Live feed on this so that our speakers, we can try to get them highlighted. And so throughout the day, if things continue as we're hoping, we'll be able to bring those things to you live if you're unable to come to the event.
Great, that'll be great. Then you have another program that's coming up that'll be of interest to our farmers with some recycling opportunities. Is that right?
Yeah, there's actually two programs for recycling. I don't want to step on Tony Nye's feet with the, he has a program where he's recycling containers, pesticide containers. That'll be on the Friday, August 14th, I believe. That'll be at Melvin, the Nutrien location there at Melvin. And if you have any kind of plastic jugs, any of your totes that are plastic can be recycled there, and they just have to be cut down and triple rinsed and ready to go. And then along with that, Ohio Department of Agriculture will be at our field day on August 18th at the airport, and they're going to do the Clean Sweep program. And what they will do is recycle and dispose of any and all agricultural chemicals that you might have sitting around the farm. We always have those little jugs that we dump some stuff in, and we say, oh, well, we know what that is. And then 6 months pass, and a year pass, and then 2 years pass. And then it's like, what's in that jug? And you're not 100% sure, because it's more than likely not the spray that the jug says it is. So they're going to recycle any agricultural chemicals. You just bring them in a jug, and they will get rid of them. So it's free of charge. There's 3 locations around the state, and we're going to have the one on August 18th. So come to the clean sweep, drop off your chemicals, and then stay for the field day and make a day of it.
Sounds like a great opportunity, Ken. Thank you for sharing these with us, and we'll look forward to having you back on the Southern Ohio Farm Show here in the coming weeks.
All right. It sounds great.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching the Southern Ohio Farm Show. Tune in next week for another new episode. We hope that you and your family has a safe and healthy week, and we'll see you next week.